Alright, partners, we are back. And we have the rest of the Datamines to go ahead and take a look at here. So, of course, we have the stats for all the brand new units and yada, yada, yada. Oh, by the way, I think Gengar had a message here. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Alright, so Gengar says, apologies for missing the past 2 updates. I had a 4-day power outage. Oh, damn, that sucks. And Tsukasa was out traveling without a laptop, so we couldn't data mine. I mean, you don't have to apologize. We're just glad to have you two around. Because if it weren't for you guys, we have no data mines at all. So, yeah, I mean, shout-outs to Gengar and Tsukasa for always holding it down. If you want to donate to them, there is a link to their Ko-Fi right there. So, there you guys go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for these new units and take a look at what they're doing. So, of course, we have the Queen herself, the long-awaited Larachel alt that I've been waiting on. So, we have here 40 HP with a Bane. We got 49 attack with a Boon, 48 speed, 18 defense, and then 30 res with a Bane. Surprising that she has a res Bane here, because Larachel is like one of the units that easily caps res in Sacred Zones. And luck as well. She caps like res, luck, speed. It's crazy, man. This unit's so good. Overall BST is 185, and you already know the deal with her. She is the best fodder bank right now for your staff units. Her new B skill is crazy. It's just a better version of the legendary Sakura B skill. She comes with Ice Lock out of the box. Latona is a great inheritable staff. Pretty much the best one you can go for at the moment. And she had, what was it? Attack and speed, Hone, Assault. Pretty good. I personally prefer Outcry Dull a little bit more out of all the possible, like Outcry Dull, Hone Assault, and then also Bellow. Like, I think Outcry Dull to me is the best one because it gives the most relevant effect. But it is still a great skill for the true damage that it gives. And then her A skill is unique. So yeah, this is a very useful fodder bank to pull if you're building staff units. Okay, next up, of course, we have Lute, who's the aided hero. Now, Lute, to me, seems like she's going to be really good. She's definitely the best unit on the banner, and she certainly seems like she's going to have some meta relevance as well. But you don't really need this unit. She's not really a must-pull or anything like that, if that makes any sense. Mainly because we already have units that do what she's doing, which is pretty much insane warping with pass and then a crazy amount of damage. So she may be doing it from the range perspective, but we do have, of course, Baby Camilla, New Year Balder, and a litany of other units that are capable of doing similar things. So regardless here, we've got 34 HP with a Super Boon. We got 49 attack with a Super Boon, 45 speed with a Super Bane, and then 16 defense with a Bane and 49 res. Overall BST is 193, which ties with Cyril. I don't know why Cyril's BST has remained so relevant for these infantry range units, but he is a bow, and this is a tome, and bows do have 5 extra BST over tomes. So technically, Lute is still in a higher BST, well, not higher BST bin, but a higher BST, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, more recent BST, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, like I said, Lute seems pretty good, and for sure she's the best unit on the banner. Alright, then we have Franz over here, a unit who I've been waiting on for a while. He's a very easy cav to use. He's one of the better starting cavs that you get. So I've always liked using him. And as far as stats go, we have here 43 HP, 46 attack, 48 speed with a Super Boon, 35 defense, and then 23 res. Overall BST is 195. And he is a demoted unit, but doesn't look like he's going to be super worthwhile to go for the plus 10 on. He does have a Super Boon on speed and no Banes to mention, which is nice. His base fodder isn't so great. He has refresh, flow refresh, which is interesting to see in the 4-star pool, but outside of that, not really much else to say. And then they gave him attack speed rouse, which I guess is okay if you're trying to pick up some better skills that use that as the prerequisite. But yeah, it is what it is. So Franz finally in the game, just glad to have him. All right, then we have Morva, who was the surprise unit of the banner. Was not expecting him to be added to the game, and it is always cool when they add those units you least expect. So I do like seeing Morva here. Unfortunately, though, they just gave him, like, generic 5-star base kit, which isn't terrible, but isn't, like, crazy either. So he's not really going to shake up the meta in any way. We got here 40 HP with a Bane, 49 attack with a Boon, 18 speed, 48 defense, and then 45 res with a Bane. He's got an overall BST of 200, which is pretty solid for flying, I guess, but Grommel scores in that same bin, I believe, so kind of a moot point for Morva. He gives Fringe bonus and Warp Bubble, if I'm not mistaken, which Warp Bubble has already been on its way out the door, considering we just got True Charge. And a Fringe bonus is nice, though. We will definitely take that. So at least he's giving one relevant thing. And then the rest of his stuff was pretty much just like stats and true damage and true DR. All right, and then finally we have Garcia. So yeah, another long-awaited character. They really held it down with the long-awaited stuff. Franz and Garcia were on the top of the list for Sacred Stones characters that aren't in the game yet, that needed to be in the game, and here they are. So the Glorious Dad, Garcia. Let's take a look. That should have been his title, by the way. Not Warrior Reborn. Glorious Dad. How about that? So 50 HP. We got 49 attack with a Boon, 41 speed with a Bane, 44 defense with a Bane, and then 20 res. Overall BST is 204. And yeah, he's going to be our Grand Hero Battle unit. He's an infantry axe, which... Are you surprised that we're getting another Axe GHB? You really shouldn't be if you are surprised. I don't know what his stuff is yet, what his base kit is, what his weapon is. We'll see in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork now before we head on over to any other data mines. So here is Latona Larichel, who I've been waiting on. She looks great in this artwork, man. It's just straight out. They really managed to make the Valkyrie outfit look like a nurse outfit, which is so perfect. So Nurse Larichel. I love it. All right, there's the special attack. Awesome effect with, like, the rainbow lighting. That's pretty cool. It's like Sailor Moon when she transforms. It has, like, the rainbow lighting effect. All right, and there is the injured artwork from Larichel. Pretty good expression there. It looks like she's... What am I even trying to say here? Like, she's injured, but she's... I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So we have Lute up next. Lute with her eyeball. All right, there is the attacking artwork. Special attack artwork. Like, nice to see the eyeball join in there. All right, then the injured artwork for Lute. The eyeball. It would have been cool if the eyeball had a teardrop. Just to show that he's getting injured. All right, but there we go for Lute's art. All right, next up, Morva, of course. Really badass artwork, actually. He's just standing there menacingly. Look at him. All right, here is the attacking artwork. Yeah, here is the special attack. Actually, you know, this guy does ring a bell. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's one of the bosses that you fight on, like, one of the final maps. Isn't he that they turn him into a, like, zombie dragon right in front of the ruins, I think? It's been a hot minute since I've played Sacred Stones. It's got to be, like, over a decade since I played that game. But... Dude, he rings a bell. I'm pretty sure he's the dragon zombie that you fight before you enter the ruins to go face Fomortis. So, yeah, there we go from all that. And then special attack artwork is awesome. And then, of course, the injured artwork's pretty good, too. All right, next up we have Franz over here. I don't know why he's holding all those swords. He's holding all of these swords, yet busts out a lance. It's like the swords were just a decoy. Alright, so here's the lance attacking pose, the special attack pose. And then finally, the injured pose. Unfortunately, it's very demote energy artwork, but I mean, they did capture Franz pretty well, so I will give them that. And then finally, we got Garcia, the GHB, who has some pretty awesome artwork. I love the pose there, the power pose. All right, there is the attacking pose. Special attack, that's awesome. And then the injured artwork there. So, pretty good overall. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can find out what Garcia's weapon is and all of that good stuff. All right, actually, it doesn't look like it. Huh. All right, let's see if anyone has mentioned anything here. Garcia should have dropped 10 speed into HP and defense. Yeah, they did give him a little bit of needless speed, didn't they? With 41 speed, that's not really going to do him any favors. Even if you invested in speed, that's like... If it was like 45, maybe, but 41 is a little too low. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if anyone has weapons. Nah, nobody has posted the weapon, unfortunately. So I don't know if this guy has a preference weapon or inheritable weapon, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say he has an inheritable weapon, because if he had a preference weapon, I'm sure people would have been posting it all over the place already. So it's probably a weapon that's not worth mentioning, which is unfortunate. It might actually just be an axe version of the Franz Lance that we got, which had the Crux debuff and then had some true damage and so on. It might just be that in axe form, but I don't want to come to conclusions before actually seeing the weapon. So there you guys go. That is everything in the Datamine. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.